Okay, so today we're going to talk about ND filters. If you see before us, we have
a lot of
10 ND filters. Okay, so this has been accumulated throughout the years of taking photos and making videos. So we're going to share with you what we find is the best and whether we like variable NDs or fixed NDs. It's a Haida Nano Pro MC variable ND. Okay, so today we're going to talk about ND filters. So we're going to talk about the types of ND filters first. So for ND filters, there are basically two types. One is a fixed type of ND filter where it's a fixed value. And then there is the type where it's a variable one where you can twist it and then you will change the ND values. So an ND filter is neutral density filter. So what it's supposed to do is supposed to cut the light in a neutral fashion, and it will just reduce the light by a specified number of stops. So the number of stops is fixed in a fixed ND filter, and the number of stops is variable in a variable ND filter. Okay, so the amount of variation can be from, how many is this? 1 stop to 8 stops for this one. Some are maybe 3 to 8 stops, and then some might be from 1+ stop to like 10 stops. So let's go through the ones that we're going to test today. Okay, so for a fixed ND filter, this is something that I just got. So this is the B+W ND filter. The best ND filter you can buy in the market. It's a true neutral filter, even though all are neutral densities. But this one is supposed to have no color cast and minimal color shift. So this one is a 3-stop and I have a 6-stop one. So this is a fixed value ND filter. So one of these costs about 200 plus Sing dollars. So the next one we're going to try will be the H&Y Revoring ND filter. So this one is quite an interesting ND filter because it has the Revolving system. So what the Revolving system is basically a variable filter thread size that you can just turn like this, and then you can attach different sizes of lenses to it. So this is for 67 to 82. So biggest is 82, and you can twist it down to 67. So usually all your lenses should fit within this range if you're using the common size lenses lah. They do sell different models for different size ranges. So if you need a smaller one, you can buy the smaller one. So this one also has a CPL function, which means that you can rotate the whole assembly without rotating the lens. So once the thing is screwed onto your lens, you can just rotate the whole thing, and this will change your polarization angle. And the other lever will just vary the ND value. So this one starts at about ND3, which is 1.5 stop roughly, to ND 1000, which is 10 stops.
Wow, 1000.
Yes, so we'll see if it's usable or not, because it does really go quite dark. Okay, so another feature is that the front is magnetic, so you can buy a magnetic cap like this, or you can buy a magnetic, maybe a mist filter, and it just sticks on. Okay, so now we're going on to the other variable ND filters.
So this, the one I have here is the Haida Nano Pro MC variable ND at 72mm. Yeah, so this one, right, is a bit different. So there's 3 different types, but this one actually has a hard stop to it. So when it's at the maximum, you can't actually rotate more than what they allow you. So you'll know when you're at like your minimum and maximum, which is a good thing and like something you should most probably look for when you're buying an ND filter, because you don't want to like overdo it.
Yeah, so some of them don't have it, like
yeah,
this one. So you can rotate it over the maximum.
Yes.
So you need to look for the little arrow.
Yeah, which is also sometimes quite annoying where like, I think the other day when I tried it, the arrow is always at the bottom of my lens.
Yeah.
So I have to like pick underneath to see or something like that. So yeah, look for something that's a hard stop, right? So, you know, when it hits a stop, you will know you can't turn anymore.
Yes. Then the last one we have is
K&F Nano B Series variable ND 2 to 400. 67mm thread.
Okay, so we have 3 types of variable ND filters. So they are just usually around like maybe 1 to 8 stops like that lah. That's the usual range lah. Okay, so let's do the test and we'll come back and then we'll see what the results are. Hi, so we're on the rooftop of Funan again. So it's another rooftop session with Kelly.
Hi guys.
Okay, so the camera setup we're using is the A7R5 to take the photos and the videos, and I'm using a 24mm 1.4 G Master. So it should be a pretty common focal length for most of you guys that shoot landscapes and video. So super wide lenses don't work so well for variable NDs. So let's see how this kind of normalish wide angle lens works for variable NDs also. Alright, so this is the scene without any ND now. It's a very unscientific test because I know that the light is changing, but at least this is trying to show how the ND works at its minimum and maximum settings and whether you can actually use the effective maximum setting of your ND filters. I'm at 24mm and I'm using the B+W ND 6-stop filter. Alright, so this is the second filter we're testing. So this is the B+W 3-stop ND. Alright, so now I have the H&Y Revoring CPL plus VND on. So this is what 2 stops look like. Now we're at 3 stops. So let's go down to 4 stops. Then let's go down to 5 stops. So there is no marking after 5 stops to 10 stops. So as we get further and further down, this is almost at max. Not at max yet, but you can see the big shadow coming out. And this is what the funky X pattern always looks like when people refer to it as the X pattern. So this is max. So at 10 stops, it's pretty much unusable at a wide focal length. So I don't think they should actually market this product as a 10 stop. Now we're using the Haida Nano Pro MC Variable ND. So this is the first setting. This is the second dot setting. This is the third dot setting. This is the fourth dot setting. And this is the maximum setting. So at maximum setting, you can see some of the funky polarization effects coming out already. So I would say it's quite unusable at the max setting also. Okay, so this is the K&F Nano B Series Variable ND. So we're going to progress down the dot scale. So this is the first dot, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, and the max. Not usable at such a heavy ND setting. Okay, so we've done the testing, so let's go through the results now. So for the BW filter, that was the best result that we've got. So you can see that it looks the most accurate at 5200 for the B&W one. The H&Y one tends to be a little bit greenish, yeah, as with all the variable NDs.
Yes.
Then the Haida one is a little bit warmer. It's still a little bit greenish, but it looks a bit more natural because it's a little bit warmer. The H&Y one was a little bit cooler. And then the K&F one looked like the H&Y but with a slight addition of softness to it. So it's almost like...
But it's very greenish, right?
It's also greenish,
Yeah.
similar to the H&Y one, but it's soft. So it actually, I think, degraded the image quality slightly.
Black mist.
Yeah, there was very slight mist filter effect. You lose a bit of contrast. So I guess the winner here for absolute image quality is obviously the B&W's ND filters, because they don't change the color, which is exactly what the ND filter is supposed to do.
Yeah, very true to the color. You
yeah.
can still see the skies and
Correct.
the blue of it.
Yeah.
Because the rest kind of look a little bit greenish.
Yeah, so your sky becomes a bit green.
Yeah.
And then for the runner-up, we will give it to the Haida Variable ND, because this one, even though it has a color cast, it still looks a little bit natural, so your color correction may not need to be so severe. So for the trashiest image quality will be the K&F one. So that makes your image bad, plus it changes your color, so I don't think you should buy that if at all possible. How much was
But
that?
it's okay. I think it's about $30 or less than $50.
So let's go through the benefits and the drawbacks we found for each of the ones after testing. So the benefit of the B&W obviously is that it's the most neutral one. Your image quality is the best. However, it's the most expensive. And also the fact that you have to buy different stops means that it's even more costly. If you do videos, I think 3 and 6 will be more practical. So another drawback for this is that it's a fixed ND. So you want to change ND value, you got to unscrew it and then screw it on.
Yeah, so you can't turn them like that and change them easily.
Yeah. So H&Y, I didn't really particularly like the color tint, but it makes up for it with its convenience, because this one is the only one that has the variable ring that I can just put on any of my lenses. So I really just need to buy one.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, and I don't have to buy any adapter rings. I don't have to change anything. So for your normal use cases, this is all that you need. And it can also serve as a CPL, circular polarizer. So if you put it on minimum ND, it's just basically acting as a CPL.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can just turn the whole thing to rotate as you rotate a CPL. However, this has a great drawback, which is when you use it past 5 stops, it has that X pattern where you have like patches of black showing up. So at wider angles, it's more apparent. So if you want to use it at 10 stops, I think you got to use it at 70 mm and above. So I don't know what you're going to shoot at 70 mm with a 10 stop ND lah.
Something very far.
You can shoot a waterfall, but the waterfall is like super close. Yeah, so that's the drawback of this. The drawback is that for variable NDs, I think all variable NDs are like that. You cannot use it past a certain number of stops. So even if they advertise one ND like 1 stop to 10 stops, you probably can use it only until 5 stops. Convenience wise, I think this is the best. Okay, so I will give this 100% convenience marks. Okay, so you want to talk about this one?
This one? Okay. So like just now I mentioned, like the good thing about it is there is a hard stop. So that is one important thing. So
yes, this one also has hard stop, I forgot to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this has a hard stop for the ND section.
We kind of like this filter because it was just a little bit slightly warmer. It didn't really change a lot. Because as we compare throughout the photos, right, this one didn't really change compared to like maybe the cheaper one. So this one is still usable to a certain extent, and maybe you still can grade it a little bit. So it doesn't really ruin it so much. Yeah, so I guess with the price also, I think it's quite worth it lor. Like if you cannot afford something that is way more expensive and buy so many different ones, so if you want something that is just nice, sweet spot, then maybe the Haida one will be good. Yeah.
So the inconvenience is that it's a single thread size. So I bought 3 different thread sizes because I was lazy to adapt with the step up rings.
Yeah, 67, 82 and 72.
Yeah, so one other drawback of this style of traditional variable ND filters is that once you screw it on, right, you cannot adjust the polarization angle.
Oh yeah.
Because once it's on. If you want to adjust it, then it will be loose.
True.
Yeah,
but actually they're not advertised as like CPL VND.
But it is a CPL actually.
Yeah, so, because it's just 2 CPL stacked together.
Yeah, so when you sometimes screw it on different lenses, it would be at a different angle.
Oh, yeah,
then sometimes, depending on the light, your sky might look a bit funky. And also, you still get the X pattern at maximum. So I say that all the variable NDs, you cannot use it at maximum unless they limit the maximum. So how about this one? I think you bought this, but now you regret it.
Yeah, I end up not using it a lot because I realized the color looks very different and I don't like it. I think from the moment once I put it on, I don't even need to like take the photo and go back to edit. Yeah. So then I end up just rarely use this unless I really have to. So yeah, it just sits in the pouch, and then if I got no choice, then I use based on after this test, right, this extensive test, I think I don't really need the variable also, because after I test out, right, since after a certain stop it would have like the X pattern and stuff. So I rather just buy 1 6 stop, and then if eventually I need, right, I'll buy like 3 and 6. If I need, I will just stack them up. Yeah. But I mean, of course, for convenience sake, if you don't want to bring 2 filters, Haida, I guess, is something that you can really consider lah. Yeah, because it's quite good.
But I would say that if you're going to buy a variable ND, right,
I might as well buy this one.
You can consider the H&Y if you are mainly doing video.
Yeah, but also maybe this is drawback is like you can't adjust the CPL. Yeah.
So the biggest benefit of this, I still feel, is the ring thing, which is so convenient.
Yeah, it is.
You just bring one
magnetic
out.
You can put a lot of other filters. So the good thing is like you don't have to screw them on.
You can buy a mist filter.
Yeah, you can, like screwing filter on, right, is like a bit very clumsy. Sometimes you might even drop it. Yeah, so this one is good where it's magnetic.
Yeah. Then I guess this is the best, I would say, the H&Y one. Not the cheapest, but it's the most useful.
Versatile, because you can put on a lot of different lenses and stuff.
So for video run and gun people, I think the H&Y is strongly recommended. Photography, I would recommend the B&W one. Definitely.
Don't need to say. Say no more.
Yeah, so also one more thing is that you can also buy a camera with an ND filter. So let me just turn it on now. So now we have ND and we are shooting at 2.8. So we have more bokeh. And there's no color shift because this is internal ND. Okay, so hope you like this video about ND filters. And I guess the message of the day is you get what you pay for. If you buy a cheap ND filter, you get lousy image quality.
Correct.
If you pay a lot for it, you're almost guaranteed better image quality lah.
Yeah, but a hole in your wallet.
Yes. So weigh the pros and cons for yourself and just see what you need, whether you want to get optimal image quality or you want to save some money. Okay, so we'll see you in the next episode. And don't know what to talk about lah.
Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mike.
Ken, see you. Bye bye.